Welcome to the WDW Fan Zone show. Tonight, I am joined by Kurt, John, and Darlene. I am Stuart. No, I am not Groot. I am Stuart. It just
Way to
sounds
go,
weird
man.
every time I say that. Anyway, we're Jessless and Lottyless this week. Hopefully, they'll be back next week, so there will be no news this week, no rant this week, just some Disney talk. And I was thinking about it. When's the worst time to go to Walt Disney World? The holiday season. What's the best time to go to Walt Disney World? The holiday season. So, how can that be possible? Well, we're going to get into it tonight and tell you how that is incredibly possible. So, John, you were recently at Walt Disney World. Did you see any of the Christmas decorations going up?
I was there at the end of October and the beginning of November, and I was there one day, and there were pumpkins and Halloween theming. And I wasn't there November 1st, but I was there in Magic Kingdom on November 2nd. No sign of pumpkins. Christmas holiday decoration everywhere and Christmas music playing.
Yeah.
So that they flipped the Magic Kingdom, I think, pretty much in overnight.
That is my favorite.
Yeah, it's incredible how, because I remember seeing it last year, and it's like one day we were there and it's Halloween. The next day we're there and you couldn't tell Halloween ever existed because it was all Christmas.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the Christmas merchandise start to pop up in the shops earlier in the last week of October, but there was a switch that flipped in Magic Kingdom specifically.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Magic
I mean,
Kingdom's
they take, and they've got the Christmas holiday treats in some of the food locations already. Some of them don't come out till November the 8th, and then there's others that don't come out till December 1st. But they had quite a number of them come out November 1st, and I've already had 2 of them.
And what was your favorite?
Well, the 2 that I had, there was a gingerbread eggnog, kind of like a panna cotta in a little ring with some chocolate on it. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had a gingerbread cookie shaped like Mickey Mouse with chocolate on it and sugar. Oh, that was one of the best gingerbread cookies I've ever had.
Ooh, and where did you get these?
Well, those I got specifically at Riviera. I went over to Riviera, got a mobile order from Primo Piatto,
Okay.
and I picked up I actually looked to see what holiday treats were available, and I targeted Riviera because of the gingerbread things I thought.
And it's interesting how there are some treats that come back every year, and there are others that are brand new each year and change each year. And that's another reason to bring people back to the parks during the holiday season.
Exactly.
And another reason for going. But we're not going to start off why you should go during the holiday season. We're going to start off, we're going to get the negative out of the way, and we're going to do why you shouldn't go during the holiday season. And I think the elephant in the room is the obvious crowd levels.
That's what I was going to say.
It's the parks can get very crowded at any time of the year, but when you have the holiday season, everybody wants to be there, and rightfully so. You should be there. You should get to see the parks during the holiday season. But you can pick better times than others to go, but crowds do increase. And if you're going there to see anything and everything Disney during the holiday season, then you're going the wrong time of year. If you're going there to see the decorations and the holiday magic that transforms the parks, especially Magic Kingdom, then the holiday season is the right time to go. Kurt.
Yes.
What would keep you away from going during the holiday season beside the crowd? Or is that it for you?
What, besides the price? What?
The crowds, I said.
I just said it.
The price.
Yeah.
He was being
so
smart.
The price and the crowds. Yes. So the times I would definitely avoid Thanksgiving week. Because everyone, they just take 1 or 2 days off because they know they're going to have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off with the kids. So Thanksgiving week and those 2 weeks of Christmas, I wouldn't go anywhere near that place.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's when you said the price, that is the ultimate peak season for Disney, which means
Correct.
the price is going to be the highest it could possibly be.
Right. So when we were talking about that, that ultimate perk front of the line pass thing, whatever that was
Premiere.
last week, the Premier Pass, that's when it's the $450 a person, is during those times. So I would avoid like the plague wanting to go there during those times. But there's going to be
if Santa
people
Claus
there.
says
That's when
during-
they're going to buy those.
Do you know what the Santa Claus says during the peak season when they're selling those premier passes for $400 some odd dollars? Ho ho ho, we got you.
I thought you were going
Anyway.
to say you said thank you.
Yeah. That yeah, Darlene, any other reason why you wouldn't go? And we'll get to you
Well,
next, John.
between, like what John and Kurt both said, and then you also have in like if you want to see the decorations and stuff, you have to be very strategic how you do it because there's a very small window between Christmas and the next marathon.
Yeah,
When those
that's
come
very
down.
true. Yeah. There used to be a lull between, like the date, like January 2nd, the middle of January, and not anymore.
Nope.
No.
They figured out
It
how
is
to keep the
quieter.
crowd there.
That week right after Christmas is a little quieter. Some of the decorations are still up, but a lot of them are already gone because we were
Yeah.
down there last year on January 5th, I want to say, at Disney Springs. There was not a lot of. There were a few Christmas trees were still up, but that was about it.
You know what? Right before the first weekend, let's see when January 1st falls out this year. I'm going to just check and let you know in a second.
It's a Thursday, I think, or Wednesday.
Okay. So
Wednesday.
my suggestion would be if you want to avoid the crowds during that lull period, you probably have the Tuesday to maybe Thursday the following week. I'd say Tuesday and Wednesday the following week, where it might be a little less crowded, and then the crowds are going to pick up again for the marathon and
Mhm.
everything else.
Right,
they've got
marathon
going.
is on marathon weekend's on the 10th this year, right? January 10th.
I think so. I'm not positive.
John, that would be you.
I'm not going to marathon weekend, but Run Disney should be able to tell us pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty early this year. Again,
Well, yeah, last year it was like the 7th.
yeah.
Or it wasn't even that. It was like the 6th. I think Friday was the 6th.
You're right.
That's why we only went to Run Disney, or
Yeah, if
we
anything,
only
they'll
went
probably,
to Disney Springs because of
yeah. I don't think they
Yeah.
would move it up to the
Yeah, you're right. It is that weekend, the 9th to the
Yeah.
12th.
Right.
9th
You
to
pretty
the
much
12th.
have a couple of days the week before the marathon earlier in the week to
Yeah.
go if you
Mhm.
want to avoid the crowds. Otherwise, you're going to get slammed with
Yeah,
Correct.
large crowds.
Right.
there's
again.
more of a gap this year than there are other years.
Correct.
Sometimes it's only a few days,
It depends on when the first falls, what day of the week the first falls out. If it
Yeah.
falls out early in the week, it'll be that week, the first weekend. If it falls out late in the week, it's going to be the second weekend. That just seems to how they've been doing it lately.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, John, any other reasons you can give why you would not go during holiday season?
I've
we
got a
haven't
few. I've got a few.
Good. Let's hear 'em.
So for people like you who live there and have Florida annual passes, you could be blocked out.
I am. I
Yeah.
am.
And
Thankfully, I have friends that are cast members that if I wanted to go, I could. Although that's the one time a year I will generally turn them down, unless we have dining reservations somewhere to make it worth my while, because food talks.
Yeah, and certainly things to go along with the crowds. It's harder to get dinner reservations. It's harder to, if you've got a multi-lane lightning lane pass, or just to get on attractions, it's going to be harder. But one of the things that you may not think about is and this is a positive too, but if you want to get pictures of the park the way it normally looks, it's great to have those holiday pictures, but then
Mhm.
you don't get the pictures of the way it normally looks, you know.
Hmm.
So it's a trade-off there, but that's just something to think about if you want to capture some pictures the way that the streets and the attractions and the resorts look. Oh, can't
Stuart,
hear
you're
you.
on mute. Stuart, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I have a habit of doing that, putting myself on mute. If you want to get a picture of the castle, a street view going all the way down, it's going to be disrupted by the crowds of millions and millions of people.
Mhm.
That depends, though.
Talking about largest crowds, Disney gets the largest crowds. Just saying.
See, now next week, I think would be a good time to go. The marathon's done.
Hmm.
It's before the holiday. We
Yes.
still got food and wine going on. I honestly expect my sister to go over there next week. If she doesn't, I'll make her go.
I
But you
would
know,
say, where are we? We're in November.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
can't believe we're in
it's
November.
mid-November is really a good time to go. It's very nice. It's quiet. It's that first weekend the Thanksgiving week,
Hmm.
which is the last week of the month this year. It's that's when you want to avoid. That's when I had issues. That's when there's a couple horror stories I've said off the air that I won't repeat on the air, from things that have happened around with other guests where they just don't get it. Um, but yeah, it's right. I would if I had time off, I would go next week because then I could still hit one dine.
Next
and
week is
enjoy all
Jersey
the-
week.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
It's
It's
not
always
this
the
week.
week. It's the week. It's usually the week after election.
Oh,
Oh,
so that's going to be a
Mm,
nightmare.
not a nightmare, but there'll be a lot of folks
A
in
lot
the
of
park.
crowds. But if you want to just walk around and
Mm.
see the decorations and stuff and not ride a ride, you're fine.
I'll wait till the 18th then. I want
Yeah,
if I'm going, I don't want to ride stuff.
Right. But if you're a local.
But yeah, I'm not talking about locals. Most of us aren't talking about locals because none of us are locals except for you two. You
all right,
got to look
Jersey
at it
week is
from
November
a
7th and 8th.
traveler's
So
point
Jersey
of view.
week is this week.
This week is
Oh,
okay. Fine, I'm going next week again.
Yeah. Then next week is the week to go. Yep. And the next 2
Yeah.
weeks are the weeks to go.
I agree.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'm
agree.
agreeing with you.
because then we
Yeah.
start getting blocked out around the I just looked at it. Our blackouts start on
So you're talking sorcerer?
the 25th, I think, or the 21st.
And yeah, it's somewhere in there. Well, that's okay. I don't mind being blocked
Yeah.
out.
Is that for the sorcerer pass?
I think it's for all of them, except for the Incredipath.
Incredipass, right?
Well,
Now
one of
I'll
the
tell you
things.
what. If you're, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead and finish.
No, I was just going to say if I was going to go more than once in a year, and I would definitely be buying an annual pass if I planned on going at Christmas time.
The only annual pass you could get, though, to do that without blackout dates is the Incredipass.
All right. So
Correct.
I have the Pirate Pass. I'm blocked out from the 22nd through the 30th. Guess what? That's fine with me
Yeah.
because I hadn't planned on going during that period of time anyway.
Yeah.
Then I'm blocked out from December 19th through the 3rd of January. I'm okay with that too.
Yes.
Even if you get away from the Christmas to New Year's week, one of the things you also lose out on if you're a Magic Kingdom fan is the number of Mickey's Very Merry parties cuts the hours shorter for the Magic Kingdom. I saw
Right.
that when I was down
Correct.
there for Halloween. There were a lot of Mickey's Not So Scary parties, and the park was closing at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And we were sitting in
Fun.
Tony's Town Square having dinner at 4 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock, there's just a river of guests that start flooding in that are coming in specifically for the party. And they actually had to
Mhm.
open the walkway behind Main Street that opens up between the plaza and the terrace,
Mhm.
Tomorrowland Terrace, and they just for half an hour they just flooded past there to get them into the park without jamming up Main Street. But
Hmm.
so
That's what
they're
they've been
obviously very
doing.
popular, and it affects your
Mhm.
amount of time that you
It,
can get into
it,
the Magic
yeah.
Kingdom.
John, just a quick aside. Have you eaten in Tony's Town Square before?
Probably about 10 years ago.
How would you, if you remember what it was like then to now, how would you compare the food?
Well, we liked it when we were there 10 years ago, but we had a very good meal when we were there just
And I
last
think
year.
it's improved over the last, I want to
That's
say,
good.
4 or 5 years. I think it's improved quite a bit.
We'll
Yeah,
keep that
it's
in mind.
Still, and for the folks who live in New York City that are used to real Italian food, when I say real North American Italian food, New York Italian restaurants are still better for the most part, but it's not bad. It really is not bad, especially for Florida Italian food. It's
but
good.
we enjoyed it, and it was
Ramen
nice
Nova was better though.
sitting out in the glass area so we could
Yes.
see the the town square area. And
We've
like I said,
sat
we could see
there,
all the
yeah.
people flooding in.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We've sat there a couple times.
Yeah.
So
Now, hold on. Blackout dates for Sorcerer aren't that bad. During Thanksgiving week, it's only the Wednesday through the Saturday, 27th through the 30th. And then in December, it's the 19th through the 2nd.
yeah, that's
That's
2
what that's
weeks.
what that's
So
what you said.
that's
Stuart.
not bad.
It's the
I'd accept
well,
that.
Keith has the same blackout dates.
I would not want to. It's the dates I wouldn't want to be there. Put it that
Yeah.
way.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what Stuart said. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
crowded.
And mine
You
are a
don't
little
want to be
more
there anyway.
on the Pirate Pass, but
Yeah.
it just gets too crowded and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Anything else you have on your list there, John?
One other thing I had, and this is on a specific day, usually before December, and that's the filming of the parade in Magic Kingdom, and
Oh God.
Mhm.
that clogs Main Street up for hours.
That's
Yeah.
been happening. That started already.
You know what? I'm glad I did this last year. I got to be there for the taping. I would never, ever, ever, ever in a million years do it again. Like I said, I'm glad I did it once just to see what it was all about and what it's like. I would never do it again because it's almost torturous waiting there for hours and hours on end
Right.
while they.
Now we were there on the Saturday in 2011 when they were taping that, and it was wonderful. Once you got past Main Street, it was wide open. There was
Yeah,
not a lot
sure.
of people there because everyone stayed away
Mhm.
because of the taping.
Yeah.
So now they spread it out over several days, it sounds like. Not as good.
Oh.
But I mean, we hit like a dozen attractions in like a half a day. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It's also 2011.
Now, some of the things you guys didn't mention that could pose a problem. The airports during the holiday season get more and more crowded. So if you're flying into Orlando or the Florida area, whether it be Tampa or even Sanford, which is another airport out there, smaller airport, this you could have delays, not because of weather, but because the crowds there are just clogging up the airports.
Which
That's something else to
make your
consider.
tickets more expensive.
Yeah, traffic in the area. That more tourists are coming down here to Florida during the
It's-
holiday season.
Well, it's not delays on your end, it's delays on our end.
That's right.
So
That's
for
right.
you guys, it's fine. For up here, we got a blizzard
Right.
going on. And
Yeah.
that's why you're stuck with all the delays and a lot of crabby people in a Florida airport. At least you have free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, need that Wi-Fi.
Got to have the Wi-Fi.
So I think that's basically the negatives for why you wouldn't go during the holiday season. Now let's talk about the positives. This time, John, we're going to start with you first.
Well, I'm just going to tack on to one that I already gave, and that is the quality and the variety of the holiday themed treats that they have across the parks, across the resorts. Lottie's not here, so I'm going to include in that some of the holiday drinks they have. I don't know what they are, but I've just seen that there are a lot of them. But there are some fantastic treats, and they want to make them unique across the different locations, all of the different resorts as well as the parks. They've got multiple treats per park, and there's just some really, really good things, and they look wonderful too.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't drink, but I agree too.
Yeah.
From what I've seen on Instagram, they look quite tasty.
That's my first one.
All right, John, that was you, John. Sorry, Darlene.
So the biggest thing for me is all the theming of the different Christmas decorations in all the parks and Disney Springs, even the resorts. I think you need to come down at least once to see how Disney decorates, because it's just absolutely amazing. And the gingerbread, oh my gosh, you walk into a hotel that has a gingerbread design, and wow, you are just taken into like gingerbread heaven.
They were working on that in the Grand Floridian before November 1st.
Oh,
They
yeah.
already started construction of
Yeah,
it.
you can smell it before you see it.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
just amazing.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? I always imagine it to be this big, tremendous thing, and it is big. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be.
It's like a 10 by 12 or something like that, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. And I just expected it to be bigger and taller. And
It takes a
please, I
long
was
time
not
to build.
disappointed. I was very happy.
It takes a long time to build one of those
Yeah,
puppies.
I know.
Who's got the chocolate carousel? Is that Yacht Club?
Boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
Yeah, Boardwalk.
Well, I'm sorry, and
That's
Yacht has something and Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yes, both of
they
them
all
do.
have something.
God, I was there last year for both. I'm trying to think what it was. I don't remember.
It's been
Was
a
it
minute
a
for me.
train? Something to do with a train.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm not mistaken. It was something to do with a train.
I think the Yacht Club.
I don't know if I still have those pictures.
Right.
Let me look.
I think I do have pictures, now that I think of it, Kurt, of the chocolate carousel with the horses and characters on the horses from the Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I think it was at Yacht Club.
The Yacht Club had the carousel. Now I'm trying to think what Boardwalk had.
Thank you. I don't remember what Boardwalk had.
Boardwalk had a tree. I remember that. I think Boardwalk also had a gingerbread something, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
know
Sell gingerbread there.
Contemporary had a very tall tree. Very impressive.
Yeah, well, there's so many trees, and each with their own unique theming at all the parks and most of the resorts. You go into Fort Wilderness, and the people that stay in Fort Wilderness over the holiday period are all decorating their own campsites, and with all kinds of lights and light up figures and signs. It's just crazy. People go around on their golf carts just to look at all the decorations.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you, nobody decorates for Christmas like Disney does. Kurt.
Yes. So, why do you need to go with that? We just talked about. We just put it all in there. Every resort is themed. There's a smile on everybody's face. That music, it's all happy music. You're not going to hear the sad Christmas music. It's the happy, upbeat Christmas music. Holiday music, I should say, because there's also the dreidel song I've heard playing in there, which is also fun. So it's a holiday theme, and it's just different. So if you spent your whole time, if you only travel in the summertime, it's nice to see that change. Who doesn't love the Jam and Jingle Jungle Parade or Jungle Cruise?
Mhm.
Jungle Jam and
Jingle
Jingle
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
It's the Jingle
The
Cruise.
Jingle Cruise. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
it is.
It's just it's different. It's fun. Just everything about it is fun. So it's just a nice change. It's something that's different. I really miss the old Country Bear Christmas show. That hasn't been there since like I don't know. It's been quite a long time.
Yeah.
2015, 2011, 2012, somewhere in there.
I'll keep missing it because it ain't
Mm.
coming back anytime soon.
It's
Yeah,
not
one of
coming
my
back.
favorites.
For me, one of the things, Darling took my number one reason, but one of the things that I always look forward to are the cast members that are there working during the holiday, because it's a holiday season, because you get closer and closer to the holidays, they're in a better and better mood. And so are the guests.
Mhm.
And they feed off each other, and it just makes for a more, pardon the use of words, but more festive occasion in the parks. A magical festive occasion in the parks.
I have a side note. I didn't find this past year's, but I did find 2022. And that gingerbread house was made with 1,050 pounds of honey, 140 pints of egg whites, 600 pounds of powdered sugar,
And a partridge
700,
in a pear tree.
Mhm.
700 pounds of chocolate, 800 pounds of flour, 35 pounds of spices, tons of creativity, Disney magic, and pixie dust. That's one massive shopping list.
Yeah, I'll say.
Wow.
I just found my pictures from 2005. Yes, it was, I believe, Boardwalk back then that
Yeah.
had the train. They
Mhm.
had the train.
They had the train. Yeah, I think they
Yes.
switched
And
it up a little bit.
yeah, Yacht and Beach Club definitely had the chocolate gingerbread. Yeah. The carousel, is that what you talked about? Was the carousel with how much it had?
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
the amounts was for the gingerbread house that was in 2022.
Okay, because the carousel is very similar. It, when you got 36 pounds of honey at the top,
Yeah,
that's just the start. Yep.
they're
All right,
just gorgeous.
John.
One of the most unique events, holiday event anywhere, and it's so popular, and that's the candlelight processional in Epcot.
Mhm.
They've got the great narrators, well-known people that do the narration. They've got the different choirs that come in, the lighting, the trees, the poinsettias, the music. It's just one of the highlights of the holiday season in Walt Disney
Agree.
World.
Yep. Yeah.
If you can get in, and if you want to get in, you probably end up having to buy a dining package, which will cost you more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but if you're okay with standing room only, you could do that as well.
Yeah,
Some nights, not all.
yeah, it's tough. It's
It
tough
is
to get in.
very tough. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if I don't. Well, actually, maybe they do it now. I don't even know. Do you think it's possible Disney could ever, maybe the last night, simulcast it on Disney Plus? That might be a thing that
I-
people.
I think there's the licensing for the actual whoever's reading it.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to pay mega bucks for that person to do it more instead of just doing it in front of a crowd of a couple hundred.
Yeah,
It's going to
true.
cost a lot more money for that. That's a bigger production.
Yeah, I didn't think
Put
of
on.
that, but you're
Oh
probably
yeah,
right.
the cameras, the lighting, yeah,
Yeah,
Everything else.
the sound, yeah. It's
yeah.
definitely a
We don't
bigger
need ticket prices going up anymore to pay for that.
Right?
No.
Bye.
Anyway, on a positive note, let's move on.
Mhm.
Arlene.
So the other thing is shopping. During this time of year, if you're looking for something unique, Disney wise, and that, Most of the stores in Disney Springs and the resorts and parks, you will find unique Christmas gifts, ornaments. Don't forget, you can get personalized ornaments in Magic Kingdom and at World of Disney and Art of Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt.
Just about anywhere. The pins, the holiday pins, there are some exclusive pins that you specifically had to get in each park.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that with all the holidays. So you have to go, if you want this pin, go to this park. So that's smart on their part, though. They're making you go to all the parks and not just ignore one. So themed by location for some of those gifts. In other words, themed by location.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's the special menu items in the restaurants during the holiday season. I know, John, you mentioned the treats before, but they do put special menu items, not in all the restaurants, but at some of the restaurants, and those are always good to look forward to and see what's changed this year and what you might want to try and dabble in. Yeah, that's what I got. All right, Sean, you're up again.
Well, we talked about the decorations in the parks and the resorts, but there's also the music. So I said I heard it when I was there on November the 2nd. They're already playing the music on Main Street in the Magic Kingdom, but the Magic Kingdom has its form of music. If you go to Disney's Hollywood Studios, they have some differences, especially around Echo Lake and Sunset Boulevard. They've got some of the oldies from the 30s and the 40s because it really fits the theme there. So the different parks have their different flair of music, which just adds to the overall holiday theming and feel while you're there. And it might be 60, 70, 80 degrees outside, but it does help with the overall holiday feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Darlene, I know we've kind of gone through almost everything. There's probably a couple of things left.
Yeah.
I'll disagree and say, no, I've got a list like this.
I do have one thing left, but I'll wait.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for like this month is that if you're there for Thanksgiving, they do put on a few restaurants have very nice spread for Thanksgiving dinner.
Usually those are only on Thanksgiving, though.
Yes, on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's what I
specifically
said.
for Thanksgiving. Okay.
I said for
I
Thanksgiving.
consider Thanksgiving part of the holiday season.
Yeah.
All right, Kurt.
So hopefully they're still doing it. It's not just at a separate ticketed event. Down at Disney Hollywood Studios, when they project up onto Tower of Terror, I don't even know how to describe it. It's Jingle All the Way, I think it was, something like that. It's the elves, whatever that one was. The cartoons.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was just fun seeing that stuff up on the Tower of Terror, especially as people are going up and down screaming.
Yep.
So all this happiness on the outside where they're screaming on the inside.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of pictures.
Prep and Landing. Prep and Landing.
Yes, Prep and Landing. That's what it was. They had some special Prep and Landing stuff playing on there. It was really cool. I did enjoy
I hope they
that.
do that again this year. That was pretty cool. For me, one other thing that I look forward to, fireworks. It's holiday fireworks. They're limited time only, but they're worth it. Definitely worth it. It's something that you love it when you're in the summer there seeing fireworks, but you love it even more during the holiday season when you see the special fireworks, if you happen to be there during that time.
Now that is something that they have streamed on
Yes.
Disney Plus. They have streamed the fireworks before.
Yeah, they don't pay residuals to fireworks.
To all the people. Correct.
John, how many more do you have on your list?
Unique photo opportunities with
Exactly.
with the characters.
I'll bet that was on your list, John.
I had the photos, but not with the characters.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna, and we've talked around it a little bit, but there are some specific attraction rethemings, and the two that I think of,
Mhm.
and we touched on it, the Jingle Cruise.
Hmm.
So they have a unique overlay that's there, and or a couple other ones I can think of. Living with the Land, I really like what they do.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
lights, the holiday lighting there, especially if you go on the attraction in the dark. And I think we've talked about that in the past when you're
It's
going
better at
through
night. It's great
when you're
during the
going
day, but it's even
yeah
greater at night.
when you're going through where they have all the plants and they've got the greenhouse around you. So you've got the darkness from the outside and then the lights on the inside. It's really cool. They've also had special holiday lights and decorations around Tomorrowland Speedway. And I think it actually makes it a little more interesting to go driving around Tomorrowland Speedway with the holiday lights and attractions around there.
Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I could swear last year when you go through Pirates of the Caribbean, this is a little more subtle touch. At the end, Jack Sparrow had a Santa Claus hat on.
Did he?
I
They
think
might have
so.
snuck it on him.
I remember that, but I could have been dreaming it too. I don't
I
know.
was going to say you're dreaming again, Stuart.
Yeah, I'll have to go back in my pictures and see if I can find it.
It sounds like it would fit. I just don't remember specifically.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember if it really happened or not, or if it was something I thought that would be a good idea to do.
Off the beaten path here for a moment. John just talked about how they decorate Living with the Land for the holiday. How cool would that have been at nighttime at Halloween or turn it into a haunted greenhouse?
Yeah, that would have
That
been
would have
cool.
been cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
and
they
it
had,
wouldn't take much time for them to do.
No.
well, they could put Audrey 2 in there from Little Shop of
Yeah.
Horrors.
You know, there's a lot of attractions they can do overlays with that probably wouldn't take a lot of time. That being one of them for sure. You know, even um, Spaceship Earth. They could add a little thing, not to every scene, but a couple of scenes. They could add a little Christmas to it.
Yeah, they
Oh, at
have
the
a whole
very end. When you're flying out there with Spaceship, or you're at the very end, we're looking at Spaceship Earth, the
Mhm.
big Earth there. You can have Santa Claus flying
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah,
Mm.
that would be
You
cool.
can.
That would be cool.
We missed our calling, Stuart.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Armchair Imagineers.
You know, they could
That's right.
still do. You know what they could do with the land? Nightmare Before Christmas overlay,
That would be cool.
because that could run from Halloween through Christmas.
I love being able to see that in Disneyland. And I like how it's special, but I'd love to see something with Nightmare Before Christmas in Disney World too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's too bad that they don't do an overlay with the Haunted Mansion. And they could do that for Christmas too. With with Disney World too. But
Right.
um,
Now they also out at Disneyland they do an overlay for It's a Small World, and I'm honestly surprised they don't do that here at Disney World.
yeah,
Doesn't take much. Holidays
No, it
around the
doesn't.
world. I mean, come on.
It doesn't. Yeah, John, do you have anything else on your list?
Just a couple of quick things. Well, so we talked about one already as a negative, but for some people, the filming of the holiday parade is a positive. And
Whoa, hold on. I didn't say it was a negative. I said I was glad I did it once, but I would never do it
well,
again.
but I brought it up as a negative because it can affect traffic flow and people getting into Magic Kingdom. So I brought it up as a
Yeah.
negative, a reason not
Not
to
to,
go then.
yeah.
But it's also a reason why some people do like to go,
Mhm.
so they can
Mhm.
experience that because it's unique. We also didn't talk about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So that's a unique Christmas
Oh, that's
party.
right. Yeah, how can we forget that?
Cookies and apple cider and other things that you can
Yeah.
get. And they have special fireworks for that
Yes, I
Yes.
think they do.
They
up
do.
until Christmas. Then it's
Yeah.
for everybody.
And of course,
So-
don't forget the parade.
The parade, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Something else we didn't mention: the fake snow that they have coming down.
So
Mhm.
Oh,
Who
yes.
doesn't love snow in Florida?
Now, I don't know if they did. John mentioned about it as a negative for and a positive for the filming of the Christmas parade. For a while there, just like they were doing for the not so scary Halloween party, those backstage areas, they would open that up. So
Mhm.
I always looked at that as a positive because who doesn't love to see how, let's see the backstage. Let's see what it looks like. And there was stuff back that I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was still around. So
right.
like the
Yeah.
double decker bus I saw back there a couple of years ago, and I was like, I did not know this was still here.
So the other night I was going to see Happily Ever After, and I was coming from Liberty Square, and I got to Crystal Palace, and it was less than 10 minutes before Happily Ever After was going to start. Excuse me. You could not get to Main Street. They stopped you and they pushed you down the back street between Crystal Palace and Casey's.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And they took you the whole way down and came out by the firehouse, and you could go out
Correct.
into the square by the flagpole, which is what I ended up
Yes.
doing. But there was so much that you could see in that backstage
Yes.
area, things I hadn't seen in a long time, like you say. Very
Yes.
interesting.
That's the area I was talking about. So I
Yeah.
found that to be a huge positive. I'm like, you never get to come back
That is a
here.
positive.
Yeah, it was
And
very
it made
cool.
made it easier to get to the flagpole area than if I would have had to walk down the sidewalk in front of the shops.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Overall, if you want to come to Walt Disney World during the holiday season, if you come with the right expectations and planning, you can have a great time. If you come unprepared because that just happens to be a week you're off and that you wanted to go, yikes. Anybody want to add anything else before we wrap this up? All right.
No, I think we covered a lot.
I think we did. And I
We
hope
covered a
we
ton.
gave everybody a great overview on whether they should, shouldn't, or will, or won't. Probably will, though, come to Walt Disney World during the holiday season. That's going to be a wrap for us this week. Everybody be safe, be yourself. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Have a magical night. Stay safe and pack your patience and dress accordingly for the weather up and down with temperatures.
Well, since Disney has their quick transition from Halloween to Christmas, I've got to go with some music that fits into a movie that does the same thing. And I'm going to have to go with, I've got to know, what is this place that I have found? What is this? Christmas Town? So whatever this is, we hope that you come back and join us and see and hear this again next week. Good night, everybody.